the boardroom, board members. This is the Chatty Chairwoman. Thank you so much for stopping by. Before I get started on Love and Marriage Huntsville, first I want to say Happy New Year. I hope the year is starting off in a way that you have planned, because we know what? It takes planning. Any ideal is great. It's the execution that wins. So Love and Marriage Huntsville, before we talk about the reunion, part one, take a look at this clip from Sheree Whitfield's Instagram. So as you can see here, her and Martel are still together. Those are the receipts. That's from her birthday party. So those rumors on social media that said that they were no longer together, that they have unfollowed each other, I guess those rumors are simply not true. So I'm glad that Sheree is enjoying herself. Let's see how this all pans out. It's going to be very interesting to watch. Just wish we got more than a phone call like we did on the reunion with Sheree's appearance. Maybe she's under contract not to appear on any other reality show. That's what I'm thinking, because certainly it would have really brought up social media if she would have showed up on his show and he shows up on her show. So maybe there is an agreement. But you know what, Carlos King doesn't mind, because all of the Roa and all of the housewives have been on his podcast. Interesting fact. But anyway, so I just wanted to dispel that rumor that they were no longer together before I jump right into the reunion. So the first thing I noticed is that Tisha didn't really greet Kimmy the way that the brothers greeted each other when they saw each other on the stage. Found that kind of uncomfortable, or maybe they had just seen each other in the dressing room. Who knows? But one thing, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm just like, okay, the energy felt kind of off. And maybe Tisha was just preparing herself for what was to come, because I'm sure she knew the topic of conversation was going to be about her marriage. And I'm sure she knew Keke was going to be at the reunion. Anyway, so it gets started and they go around the room and they talk about all their business ventures. And Melody said she's simply not interested in what the others are doing and what they have accomplished, because she is over it. And you can tell by Melody's face, she has simply had enough. Right? Can you imagine creating a platform, inviting all of your friends to be a part, and then you get really into the rhythm of it and you realize that you're standing alone? Because think about it. Tisha and Melody's relationship has changed. Destiny and Melody's relationship has changed. Kimmy has downplayed their relationship. Remember, they said Marsau went on a radio show and did what? Kind of said that they weren't close friends like that. So what is it? Nobody wants to be close to Melody? Now, it is true, based on the reunion flashback, that Melody did shade Maurice when she said that he was the most irrelevant member of the cast. You know what? I kind of agree with that. Think about it. What's the footprint for Maurice? Only the time when he had to deal with his son, but outside of that, he's kind of just been in the shadows of Kimmy all of this time. We shall see if he takes a bigger role as things move on in the next couple of seasons. We shall see. But think about it. So I go back. Tisha is no longer friends with Mel. Destiny is no longer friends with Mel. Kimmy and Mel really don't roll like that, because Kimmy is not messy. And who else? Of course, Martel and her have divorced. Her and Marsau are really not friends. Remember that whole scene in one of the last episodes where Marsau insisted that he had to meet with Mel, and that Tisha was insecure and jealous, which is very disrespectful. Well, I guess they have officially fallen out, and Marsau is no longer a fan of Mel's. So then we think about what's happening on social media, where Stormy and Stormy's mom are going at it about Mel. So once again, real life has rolled over to social media, or I should say reality TV is playing out on social media, and we now know that Stormy and Mel have fallen out. That's the word on the street. That's based on the tweets. So we shall see how this thing moves on. And it looked like Mel really is over it. She wants to move on. She wants to do something different. and that she probably basically has outgrown this show. That happens. She used this show as an entry point to get to where? Get to her music. Smart move, smart girl. But you know, as you rise, sometimes you or your enemies fall out, or you just outgrow people. We shall see. But honestly, I believe she feels she has outgrown this show. Only time will tell. What time will also tell is whether this show will survive another season. Clearly, spending an hour and a half or 45 minutes talking about a marriage, talking about whether there's proof that Marsau has cheated, talking about what would she do if she found out he has cheated. Oh, what about the pictures of him in the hotel with his back? Come on, is that all we are getting from this show now? Remember the beautiful images of them early on with their families for the comeback group and building and growing Huntsville? What happened to all of that? It has simply dropped to nothing, right? Nothing but attacks on Tisha. I think Tisha needs a raise. Because if it wasn't for her relationship this season, there would have been no storyline. Now, they did address the Africa trip, which I thought was absolutely disrespectful for Marsau to go all the way to the motherland and not take his wife and his family. Okay, if it was a business trip, that would be different. But to go all the way to the motherland because you simply needed some downtime? Have you ever been to Grand Canyon? Have you ever been to the mountains? Have you ever been to the quiet and solitude of places like what? Key West? There are places right here in the States where you can get solitude. Actually, there are places where you can get solitude, I'm absolutely sure, in Huntsville. So for that trip alone leads me to believe there is some cause. But until we see the receipts, just like Tisha said, what do you do? Who cares? I mean, 3 seasons and we still haven't seen any receipts. I mean, they talked about somebody owning an apartment, and did you own the apartment? Who's at the apartment doing parties at the business? Oh my goodness. This is getting old because this is social media. Whatever is happening in reality will eventually, well, this is reality. Whatever is happening in reality in their real world will come to social media. Not doctored, not ifs, but exacts will come to social media. And they even pointed out when it came to Martel having an affair, everybody remembers the picture of Martel in the elevator with that look on his face like, oh my God, this is going to get messy. Okay, remember that look on Martel's face in the elevator when he was with Coleslaw? He knew. So, but like I said, for Marsau, if there is evidence, it will come out. But we move right along and we realize that what? Keke is here to bring the dirt again, but I think we've seen this scene before. And so Love and Marriage Huntsville has to rewind this scene for the reunion and have Keke come out to question the stability of her cousin's marriage. And they said they've been friends and like sisters for years. And if that is a sister, who needs it? Absolutely. But I love Wanda, how she runs for her daughter, how she supports her daughter. Now you can tell Wanda has tamed it down a little bit. She even looked great. So I think they need to bring Wanda back because they kind of need that little messiness to keep the show moving. But let me know in the comments, do you think Carlos King is reaching with this storyline? Even though they ended the reunion part 1 saying that there is a photo there was a photo in Marsau's phone several years ago, and that was evidence that he was cheating. Do we really care at this point, or does it matter? I mean, she's still around. If she saw a photo years ago and she's still with him, clearly she's over it or has determined how to live with it. What do you think? Do you think the show is reaching because they clearly don't have any more depth to offer? Because I honestly thought bringing Stormy on would bring the show to another level. because we wanted to see more of her life and her story, but she only showed a little bit. And also, Tiffany and Lewis were not on the panel. So that's a good move because they really didn't add any depth to the show. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think Mel is ready to go? Does she want to do her own show? What do you think is going to be the outcome of Love and Marriage Huntsville? Put it in the comments and let me know. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is the Chatty Chairwoman. I know you can go anywhere in these YouTube streets, but you stop by to see the Chatty Chairwoman. Thank you so much, board members. And once again, Happy New Year. Bye-bye.